Hey there, buddy.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. I thought about wearing my Martin Truex shirt.
Had to after this week.
I didn't want to sound like I was on the bandwagon.
See, you can tell that this is not a recent shirt. This is one of the older ones. So I've proven that I'm not on the bandwagon, that I've had this.
I got one on clearance from Racing USA, 2 months ago, and it was from last year. So I'm not on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean, the Truex family, it's hard not to be on that bandwagon, but yeah, no, Truex has been one of those that I've always really liked, but he's never been my favorite. I don't know if that makes sense. So I guess a lot of race fans might have that one dedicated person they're for. And I know me and you are both about the same, where we have one person that we really like, and then everyone else, we have a bunch of different likes.
Yeah.
He's definitely one of mine. Kevin Harvick is definitely another one. Ross, which, might be a little sensitive subject at the moment. But yeah,
I still like Ross.
Yeah, I do too. Just making sure. I knew Kyle Larson and him are tiffing at the moment.
It's a racing thing. I was mad in the moment, but I mean,
you put a bulldozer on the front of his car.
Clickbait. It's clickbait.
Okay.
Somebody sees a thumbnail, they see a bulldozer on the front of Ross Chastain, like, oh, I got to click on that. That's going to be interesting to watch. So thank you for joining, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for joining. It's going to be a fun episode. We have some things to talk about. Normally we do these on Monday, but obviously the race got moved, so we collectively moved it to Tuesday, and I'm glad we did, because things should get interesting as we go on throughout today.
Ignore my dogs in the background too. They're just they're doing dog things back here, so
they've gone full dog.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you want to start? I was talking.
Hello, sir. You did a terrible job in last week's episode. We had to end it early because of you.
Yeah. So did you charge your phone? That's kind of
just kidding. You did a fantastic job for last second.
But yeah, I mean, it was definitely last minute because my kid's daycare closed. I couldn't make it because I had to watch the kid, and there was no way I could sit there with a almost 2-year-old running around trying to do a podcast. So
I got a 2-year-old running around right now. Yours
is different. Yours is a lot further than mine.
I at least don't have to change diapers.
For time being, at least. But so we're at Dover, the Monster Mile. No truck racing. Feels like it's been forever since we've had a truck race. April 14th is the last one with Heim winning. I mean, that's weeks ago now.
That's only like 2 weeks ago.
It feels like it's like a month ago. It feels like
3.
But this weekend we had Dover with Xfinity and Cup, and both of them were dominated by one family.
I wouldn't say they were dominated by one family.
One was dominated. The other one was, very good strategy, very good racing to the end.
The Truex family fucking swept the weekend, so good for them.
Yeah,
I am very happy for Ryan Truex. He has had some
ups and downs.
Ups and downs for sure.
Yeah,
but he has finally broken through and gotten that win, especially in a Joe Gibbs car, which that has something to say, because it seems like anybody else that's jumped in that Joe Gibbs Xfinity car part-time, they haven't been able to actually get the wins. They may get some results, but I think of Ty Dillon. Fuck Ty Dillon. I think of Ty Dillon. He didn't do anything. I think of Trevor Bayne. He didn't do anything. So those are 2 guys right off the bat I can think of that have been, part-time in that Joe Gibbs car and still haven't done anything. So props to Ryan Truex.
Yeah, I mean, if he's trying to make a case for why he needs to be a full-time ride next year, this is how you do it. I mean, he dominated that Xfinity race. It felt like from beginning to finish, it was his race to lose. It's awesome to see someone like that doesn't have that every week chance to come out and do that. Excuse me.
You are gross.
If you could only smell it. But yeah, so
I've been your friend long enough to know what those bodily functions smell like. Both ends.
Cheers.
Is that Sundrop?
No, this one's the alcoholic Mountain Dews.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah, I got to get some of those Dell Jr. Sundrops for sure, because they good. But so Xfinity didn't really, other than Truex dominating the entire time, there's really not too many storylines there, right? It was a good race. Now, I will say it was actually a really good race. Obviously, Xfinity is known for putting on almost a better show than Cup Series. And Dover, the Monster Mile, was one of those that we weren't quite sure what they were going to do, right? Rain in the forecast, where we actually going to be able to get a race in. Their Xfinity seemed like it was kind of always throughout the entire week and weekend. Hey, this is going to happen. It might just move later or earlier. But Cup obviously ended up not being able to happen on Sunday, and we got moved to Monday.
Yeah. I want to touch on that too. I want to give a big pat on the back to NASCAR for calling the Sunday race as early as they did. Not only for the fans on TV, because suffering through any extended rain coverage that would be led by Clint Boyer, that would have been terrible. So thank you, NASCAR, for calling it early like they did. And for the fans that actually showed up in person for the Sunday race, not, maybe they were 2 hours away and they got a notification right before they left that, hey, race has been called. It'll be Monday. That saves them the time. That saves them the gas. Great job, NASCAR. I really want to applaud them for that. Second thing on what's that?
It's about time for it too.
Yeah, that was definitely the win of the weekend, in my opinion, because it seems like NASCAR has tried to draw out these rain delays as much as they can.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, too, that Dover, I guess they consider a short track in a way because they specified that Dover would be one of those tracks that was not getting the wet weather package, which is only for road courses and short tracks, and they're not turning right at Dover. So
so they're classifying it a short track, even though it's kind of that
it's a mile
between, right? It's a mile, so it's not a short track. It's not a mile and a half. It's a mile. The banking is just so incredible. I think that's what gives it the short track feel. But yeah, no, apparently they're saying no. I mean, NASCAR keeps talking about save money, save money, save money. But yet they've invested in this wet weather package that frankly, it feels like they don't want to run. So I don't really understand what's going on there with that. I think they could have ran it here. Or how would it have affected the racing? We don't know, but we do know when trucks were on those wet tires, there was a better race with those tires than it was with the slicks. Would it be the same for Cup? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I did listen to Denny's podcast this morning, and he was talking about how Goodyear had recently changed the compound of the tires or what chemicals they use to make the tires and everything. And he had said that obviously some environmental stuff came into play and they couldn't use the old compounds because when they would pop the hood on the cars, they would have actual rubber chunks stuck to the hood of the car. What he's saying now is the tires are like almost dusting. It's like a dust material coming off the tire. So I don't know if the wet weather package tire would have done anything, especially at Dover being a concrete track, but it's hard to say. I did want to say though too that gosh darn it, I forgot what I was going to touch on there. It'll come back to me. So let's.
So
I was thinking of it right before. Oh, the banking of the track. So Dover's banking is ridiculous, and I would actually like to go to the Dover race one year because I don't know if you're friends with Racetrack Rob on Snapchat, but he was posting some Instagram Snapchat stories.
Yeah.
The banking, dude, I cannot believe how steep the banking is there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was watching that, and then
TV doesn't do justice.
Yeah, no, it's freaking awesome. I think it's one race that we're gonna have to make one of these years. I don't know if we'll bring the bus to it, but we'll figure something out.
That's a long drive. I've been up around that area. That drive sucks in a passenger car.
Every time we talk about these long trips, the only thing I can think of what the tow bill would be. That's just
so Rob, of course, Rob's down in Florida, and let's not talk about the tow bill, please. Rob's down in Florida, and he said it was like 16 hours. Last time I made a trip up there around that way, it was like I went to DC last year, and it was like 9 or 10 hours. So and DC's not that much further south of Delaware. So that was terrible. That was in a car.
Eesh.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We've discussed like maybe doing 1 year to like taking the bus to like Kansas or something like that. But the more and more I think about it, I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe Kansas is ish. I mean, that one we might be able to make happen. I don't think
I don't
anything
know,
longer
dude. That's
than
a long drive. Tow bill. Think about that. Tow bill.
I don't know. We'll figure that out. Well, that'll be a different year.
You
But
know, I was also thinking this too. So, of course, we've talked about Kansas.
yeah,
In our group chat, Dakota said that, or no, he said on Chairgating last weekend that he's going to Phoenix this year
yeah.
for the championship race. And I know Cody's going to the championship race too. That would be a badass trip one year to go to Phoenix.
One year we have to do that. That's
Yeah.
regardless. I'm hoping they change it away from Phoenix. Honestly,
I know.
don't.
I hope it comes East Coast again.
Yeah, I hope.
If they take it to Homestead, we're definitely going.
For sure. Homestead, we have to make at least once too. That's been one that we've talked about for
Yeah.
years.
I don't know if we'll take the bus on that one either. That's a long drive too, buddy.
That's
Towbill.
It's where it's at too.
Hey, are we naming the bus Towbill now?
Yeah, Towbill. That's literally what the bus name's going to be now. But the one thing I want to talk about when it comes to the short track, this being considered a short track, even though it's a hybrid and not a short track, if they're going to label it that and not run the rain package, shouldn't they run the short track package?
That's a good question because they weren't running.
That was normal package.
The 2-inch, is it 2-inch or 4-inch? 2-inch.
It goes from 4 down to 2.
2-inch gang.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, like I was thinking about that when all this kind of stuff was going around. I'm just like, if we're choosing one but not the other, why can't this translate to? Because I mean, with the banking, less downforce, I feel like that would lead to some good racing. But obviously, I think all of us agree that they really need power. We talked about it multiple times before. We need more power in the cars.
Yeah,
and that's better.
I don't. I'm not sure. Well, I know we need more power. That's a given. But as far as like the race this weekend at Dover and the Cup side, I thought it was an excellent race. From everything I did watch, obviously
It was good.
We were all working, so
Yeah.
made it kind of difficult. But it was a good race. I enjoyed it.
Well, I got lucky I got lucky and not lucky at the same time. My kid's daycare closed yet again, and so I ended up.
Happy Kid Day,
split. Yeah, we split a day. So she took the morning shift. I took the night shift, but I was able to get home with the race still rolling, and it was actually a really good race. Could have been better, I think so. I mean, I think we're starting to get so used to this boring and just no passing and what we've been getting.
Oh, it was still a track position race.
Correct. But that's what I think. I think it's skewing what we think is a good race a little bit too. We've talked about the different races so far this year, with the first Phoenix, with the first, Coda was really good for a Coda. Phoenix was really good for a Phoenix. We just, got to keep that in mind as we're rating these tracks or doing these things.
It's kind of funny. I used to not really look. I'm not gonna say hated, but not really look forward to the Dover weekend, especially when we had 2 Dover races a year. But the last couple of years, especially going down to one Dover race, I've actually grown to like the Dover race. And I don't know if it could be the possibility that this car actually works at Dover, because Denny said it himself too, that you were able to see guys use multiple lanes where, if they got in dirty air, they could move around and kind of make gains. We saw it at the end of the race. Truex was stuck in lap traffic. And it wasn't that he couldn't pass. It was just, these guys were already two lanes. So that was taking away the line. And Ross closed it right back in.
He did. Ross was running. I mean, it looked like it was going to be William Byron's day for just about all the race until about halfway through second stage. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, everyone else is starting to jockey. I mean, basically second through the end was just keep moving. Obviously, it was kind of funny at the beginning. Brad was terrible on restarts. I mean, you had him and Byron, and he would get the inside lane, and Byron was on the outside lane. At first, they flipped. It was Byron inside and Kozlowski outside, which the outside is usually the preferred lane. They can usually take off better. But he started in second gear instead of Byron, who started in first gear. And so he just got blown off the line, and Byron was able to get back out front, got to the next choose, and he chose the outside lane.
Yeah, I heard the scanner audio where Brad was asking after that restart, because it was a restart, and then there was a quick caution right after that restart.
Yep.
And Brad was asking how Byron was starting, if he was in first or second gear. But I want to add to the fact that Byron, looked like he was going to walk away with the race, especially early on. I think had the Larson and Chastain incident not occurred, we would have seen the same script of the 5 and the 24 being the two fastest Hendrick cars, and possibly, depending on how track position would have gone, one of the two of them dominating that race as well. So
I think if Larson didn't get involved in his incident, he was the clear-cut winner. He had the best car at the very beginning. He
was second fastest in practice too.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. Then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off per se.
80 laps.
Almost completely fell off with as hard a hit as it took to that front right. I'm surprised it didn't break a toe link right from the beginning, honestly.
I'm surprised that he even got back out there. And I thought the way the damaged vehicle policy worked was that it doesn't matter if you cleared the DVP clock. Mm-hmm. If you have to go to the garage for crash repair, then you are out, period.
Yeah. So I think
mechanical was different, and I think they said it was a mechanical repair. So I don't know what they did. Maybe it was something because I was listening to Larson's radio, and he had said the steering felt really weird after they had ripped the fender and everything away. So I guess it's possible that they went back and maybe changed the rack or something out. But
I mean they had to been doing something in the underside of the car. But yeah, I mean he got hit and he went back out there. He got speed. Obviously, after he came back out, I think he was.
Yeah, he cleared a minimum speed, so he was.
Yeah, he cleared minimum speed, and I think he hung around. He was negative 32, I think, when he came back out.
He was He was like 28, 29 laps down, and then he ended up finishing the race like 41 laps down.
Hey, still finished. Who called?
It's not a DNF, and I will take that. Kyle has had a all or nothing year, and the results don't show for it.
That's a DNF.
What's that?
Did you say that wasn't a DNF?
No, it was not a DNF.
They don't consider it a DNF. He didn't finish the race.
Yes, he did. He finished 40. He finished 40 something laps down.
No, he pulled off the track before it was over.
Who?
Larson.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not. He didn't technically finish.
Yes, he did.
He didn't make
it to the checkered flag.
He did not see the checkered flag. I'm pretty sure.
The fuck are you talking about? I watched the end of the race. Remember, he blocked Chastain with like 20 laps to go?
Yes, and then it wasn't too much longer. I saw, Larson going back to the garage.
No.
I must be thinking of one of his DNFs, but I can swear that he pulled back.
I will put money on my fucking life. He finished the fucking race.
We'll see.
Jesus, what the fuck?
I might be getting DNFs confused.
After the race, where they did the post-race interview with him.
Yeah, because they were still there. He didn't just leave. He decided to hang around.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me or not.
I honestly don't remember. I might be getting the DNFs mixed up. I could have swore he ended up pulling
back. He DNF'd last weekend at Talladega.
It might be. I don't know. It was one of them. I could have
throwing chicken asses. I'm telling you that he did not DNF.
We'll see. Moving on. So
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Ross obviously caused the whole thing, and that early in the race, really uncalled for by Ross. Brennan Poole, part-timer.
Kyle finished 32nd. This is per J-Ski. This is from NASCAR's official scoring. 32nd. He started 18th. He finished 359 laps, and he was running. He was the last car that finished the race.
I don't believe you.
Motherfucker. I'll pull this up right here.
I can see it, 359. I'm looking at it right now. I don't count it.
Running. Right
don't count it.
Running.
Don't count it. No, he didn't do 400 laps. That's how many laps the race was. So he didn't finish. There we go. All right. So Ross Chastain punts Brennan Poole, a part-timer. Yeah. Blaney, man, I'll tell you what, Joseph. I was thinking of Blaney that entire time because Blaney was like pulling out too.
Choked.
He definitely choked. Definitely
Typical
choked.
Blaney. Choke, choke, choke.
Definitely choked. But yeah. So what do you think about the Ross move? What do you think about him punting Brennan that early in the race?
So obviously I was mad when it happened because it affected my guy. But after the race had ended and the rage of that had happened, I will say that it was most likely a racing incident. Just like Denny and JJ Yaley at Richmond, Denny got in there hot, Ross got in there hot, lap cars in the way. Brendan probably checked up a little bit early. It just happened, and Larson was committed to the high line. That's how it happened.
Larson was innocent. He couldn't. I mean, he didn't know.
What up, boy?
Oh, it's about time.
God bless Ross Chastain.
Larson didn't
I
know.
should have worn my Ross Chastain shirt.
You should have.
Our Lord,
Our
and Savior.
Lord and Savior.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I really think it's too early in the race for that. Regardless of what the explanation is, you're talking about early. I think it was early first stage, right there at the beginning.
It was lap 80.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much race to go, and you're going to do something like that to a part-timer.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
No. Ross even said
it really, honestly, it reminds me of the Hamlin-Yaley wreck from Richmond.
They're close. I don't know if I would put the two together, though. Did your dog just...
I thought Luna was like eating the rug in here. She's chewing on toy.
But
anything new.
It was... Oh, you froze. Are you moving again? There we go. Okay. So your audio is still good.
It's because Dakota's in here.
Dakota breaks every streaming circuit. Every time. But crap, I even lost where I was. I was mid-thought. It was freezing.
God damn it, Andy.
Dang it, Joe. I'm blaming Joe. That way you get a little bit.
Yeah. Choke. So Ross Chastain, no, it wasn't intentional. It was early on though. Lap 80, first stage. Too early to be having that happen, but hey, guys make mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Denny has said it on his podcast. Corey LaJoy has said it on his podcast about intentionally wrecking people. Denny got the fine. Corey didn't somehow. Don't know why that happened. That would have been on last week's podcast that I missed, unfortunately.
Okay, so I want to bring something up. Speaking about the fines on, of course, intentionally wrecking somebody, remember when Hamlin was fined about that, and they said it was actions detrimental and it was race manipulation.
Yes, which is every time a caution is caused is race.
So what Kyle did, blocking Ross late in the end of the race, is that race manipulation?
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I totally agree. No. But did Kyle admit to it?
No, he can't.
Did you watch any of his interviews?
I watched a brief bit of it. I was trying to get cooking going because I was hungry.
Yeah, he said something along the lines of, no, the car just got tight and pushed up in the middle of the track, which you could see like he was diamonding the turn and it went up in the middle of the track, blocking Ross. But I don't think it was intentional, or I don't think it was an accident. It was intentional.
Oh no, Larson knows what he's doing way too well. He knew what was going on out there.
Yeah.
Good for him too. I mean, obviously,
I like seeing him stand up for that. I mean,
I do too.
Larson's kind of a pushover.
He's kind of a pushover. Well, I mean, ever since he didn't freaking just rock one on Bubba, he's been the softy out there. But yeah, no, I mean, it was one of those things that everyone truthful. Go Ty Dillon. Okay, that's how I know you're already drunk. You need to sober up. But so you look at all those different things. You can't have drivers being truthful anymore, and you're going to lose some of that star power that everyone needs when it comes to this because of it. That's the only bad side.
Yeah, it is. I mentioned it. I don't know, a few weeks ago after the Hamlin incident that I think it's ended the guys just getting out of the car, saying what they want to say, or intentionally, or retaliating in the middle of a race or at the end of a race or something. I don't think you're going to see that anymore because guys are afraid of getting fined.
Imagine if Dale Earnhardt had to watch his tongue.
Yeah. Dead. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine Dale Earnhardt of all guys.
Like there would be no intimidator. It would be intimidated.
Yeah.
By NASCAR.
Terrible.
So I don't know. I mean, hopefully it comes out. And, they fixed that part of it. I mean, obviously, with the way Corey did his and didn't get in trouble, and Corey's on a
Damn
NASCAR
near the same thing.
podcast, and he said it. He outright said it.
Yeah.
And Kyle Busch even was like,
the fuck? It was
same? No? Okay, cool. NASCAR owns one. It doesn't own the other. Which one got fined?
I think it's just because Denny. They hate Denny.
Probably. Yeah, they don't like Denny. Which, obviously Denny didn't earn any fans.
Okay, I have to ask this question too. Have you listened to Denny talk about the brackets?
I have. I think that's a great idea.
I think it's an amazing idea. I think they should do it.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be, and I agree with the way they said lay it out. It needs to be mid-year, start it. That way you get all the seats set up. I really think it should go to all-star race, and then after the all-star race, the brackets start. I think
I read this.
Kickoff.
I read this morning. Did he say it would be like 6 races?
6 to 8. I can't remember exactly how many, but
I read this morning.
Marcus Smith has already said he likes it.
Hold on.
Waiting on you. Please hurry up, because I'm waiting on you.
I can't find the article here, but J-Ski had posted something first thing this morning, and they were talking about how the negotiation rights between Fox and NBC ended yesterday. Exclusive negotiation rights for the TV package. And so now that opens the opportunity for like Amazon, trying to think of some other like streamer.
And you got Hulu, you got Amazon, you got Peacock.
But inside the article, they talked about how NASCAR would not give away marquee races, Daytona 500, Coke 600, those big races that are supposed to be on normal networks like Big Fox, Big NBC.
Yep.
So in the article, it said that in exchange, they may carve out like 6 races in the middle of the season, just like they used to do with TNT. Remember when it was Fox TNT in the summertime and then NBC at the end? Yep. So 6 races in the middle of the season, whether it's Amazon, Apple TV, whoever it is that's streaming it, they could pick up those bracket races.
Yep. I mean, I think it's gonna be great. I mean, if they do it, Marcus Smith has already said he's down for it. They're already talking about how they're gonna do it. I think it's a great idea.
The NASCAR already wanting to get with Denny on it and kind of figure out a plan.
Yeah,
but the way he made it sound is that it's not going to happen next year, which is why that's why, because the TV deal starts in 2025.
Yeah.
Next year is the last year of the current TV deal. So if you start a new streaming service in the middle of the season, you could link that up with the broadcast or the bracket racing.
And I think Amazon Prime would probably lead that charge because they got money and they've already.
I think Apple TV could be on it too.
Apple TV, I don't know if they're going to go with that.
I don't know. They're already broadcasting MLB games, so I mean, I could see Apple TV trying to get on it too.
I hope it'll be interesting.
There's a buck ton of money in NASCAR advertising.
Oh yeah, but they can't pay the teams somehow. Okay, yeah.
Let's not scratch that. Let's not scratch that surface. That's been beat like a dead horse. I want to ask you, because we already had I wouldn't say heated. We just had a nice little debate back and forth. Sorry, group chat, about Legacy and Toyota. The news that broke today.
Yeah. So even the hat still says Petty GMS. By the way, just fun fact. Yeah. So great move by Toyota. That gives them 8 full-time Cup cars on the track every week. So strategy-wise, Toyota, this is a win. I don't know if it's a win for Legacy yet. Legacy was the 4th best Chevy team. There are too many Chevy teams. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But they're getting funding like a low-tier Chevy team.
Right.
They're definitely getting more funding than Spire. We could probably deduce. But if Toyota doesn't favor JGR in 2311, which I feel like for them, JGR is first, then you get 2311, and now you got the new kid on the block. Now they got the name in Legacy, so that's great. but are they going to spend the money? If they put the money towards it like they say they're going to, it's going to be good for Legacy. I can't say yes, though, until I know that.
I fully feel like that Legacy got a home run with this deal because I understand where you're coming from, but again, let's talk about this. Chevy has diluted the water with how many teams they have, and they're spread thin not only between the Cup Series but also the Xfinity Series. How many Chevrolets are on the Xfinity starting grid?
I mean,
a metric buck ton. I mean, almost 3/4 of the field, if not 3/4 of the field. There's only 2 Fords.
Yeah, there's not much there.
So,
but there's more to it. Like, you know, like we were talking about in that group chat, there's more to it than just what meets the eye. Toyota, my biggest quarrel here is going to be you have a struggling Chevy team. And yes, they are struggling. Eric Jones is good at Darlington. He's good.
Oh, they've taken a step back this year.
Oh, for sure.
The speed's not there this year.
Yeah, they said they saw it. You know, Noah was doing really good in Talladega until he got Rossed. But, I mean, was he going to win that race? Most likely not, unfortunately. I hate to say that. But, you know, they go from a struggling Chevy team to now they're going to be the third Toyota team. If they're not invested in, if they're not given the same money.
See, that's where I want to kind of stop you right there, though, because this is my feeling on it. If there's only 2 full-time Toyota teams in the Cup Series, Joe Gibbs in 2311, they bring in a third team. They're not going to tier it as Joe Gibbs, number 1, 2311, number 2, and Legacy, number 3. With the amount of cars that they're going to have on track, they're going to spread that evenly across the board.
But we don't know. It's not like even Ford tiers theirs. I mean, Ford doesn't have.
But how many Ford teams are there?
Yeah,
how many Ford teams do we have? There's more Ford teams than Toyota teams. So with Toyota having the least amount of cars on the track, what I'm saying is they can pick up the tab and spend more and distribute the money evenly across the board. They're not going to. You hope so. Yes, you hope so. You hope so. But what
I don't want it not to succeed because obviously, you know, I love Noah. Jimmy Johnson was one of my favorites all the time growing up, and I want it to succeed. I just don't know because it's already been proven that with the Aero and everything, it's Chevy, Ford, Toyota, and Aero. And then when it comes to bumping, so being able to come up on someone's bumper and give a tap and it not cause you to lose control, it's Ford, Chevy, Toyota. So you take the worst Aero car and put a struggling team in it. If they don't get the money and the same amount of effort and knowledge that JGR is getting, then there's going to be problems. Because you made the comparison earlier on the group chat where it was, you know, your Toyotas are still winning more. However, I made the point of they're not qualifying faster. Ford is qualifying fastest and Chevy's qualifying fastest repeatedly.
Toyota's never been known, though, for qualifying speed.
But that's part of the Aero. So you're putting a struggling.
I mean, you go back to the Gen 6 car. Same thing. Toyota's never been known. And how many races did Toyota dominate, like in the late 2020s?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a different. I mean, realistically, you're talking about different races.
But you just said that they still, even then, had an Aero disadvantage. Right? We don't know.
Aero disadvantage, but it's the way they work with their teams. They do a really good job working with teams. And I'm about to say something that's probably going to piss a lot of people off. Toyota has better drivers than Ford. Harvick is the best Fords, and then you get who's next
in whole. You have in whole.
Yeah,
because Joey Logano drives a Ford, and I would say he's probably one of the best drivers right now in the Cup Series.
Yeah, Brad's really good, but he's been so inconsistent lately. Even at
that's the speedways. That's the team. You can't pin that on Brad.
Yeah, but it's the fact of what's happening. So you have.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yes,
Dan Hamlin. I mean, the reason why they're able to finish good is because they have better quality racers. Chevy has the best lineage because they have roots all the way from the bottom tier up because of how much money they're putting into it. So if Toyota puts money into it and puts it in all 3 teams,
they will be. Fine. They will be. I know that they will be. I know you hope it, and we all hope that that's the case, but I know that it will be because, again, they said months ago that they've been looking for a certain team to add to the Toyota banner. They
Mhm.
would not be investing the money to even add more cars to the Toyota family
Just wait.
without knowing that they would have to invest the money into making those cars run good. And that's why I said they would never pick Spire, because Spire is, no offense to them, they're in it for the commercial side of it. They're not trying to go out and win races and perform on the track. It's a business model to them, is what they're trying to achieve from it. Even
Yeah.
though they're investing more in Corey LaJoie this year, the results are showing that.
Yeah.
Colleague, they're so ingrained with RCR, I feel like that never would have been a choice. And JTG,
Nope.
I love Ricky Stenhouse, but that team does not have the funding or any backing behind it to justify dumping millions of dollars into a one-car team. The legacy pickup was an absolute home run on both sides.
We'll see. I hope it is. I really, really do when it comes to next year.
And I know you're saying too about like the driver fold, but Eric Jones, that Jones boy, don't write him off. Do not be writing him off whatsoever.
He's also, they've been talking about him. I don't know when his deal ends with Legacy, but I know they were talking about he might be one of the potential successors to the 4-car, which there's other rumors out there for who might be taking that 4-car.
Yeah, Clint Boyer.
Yeah, Clint Boyer and
Bob Parker. Big old bombshell.
Yeah, you got Clint Boyer and Bob Parkers, both of them mentioning, hey, Josh Berry, who's been out here in these Cup cars filling in for Chase, now filling in for Bowman. Top 10.
I don't think that's much of a secret, though, that Berry would be possibly suited for the 4-car.
But I really think I want Zane Smith.
Look, I want Zane to have the opportunity too, but there's two things that have to happen, or one big thing has to happen. Zane has to be let go from front row. Front row is not going to let him go if they know that he's a top talent. Well, it's just like Ganassi and Kyle Larson. Ganassi was going to let Kyle go to Hendrick Motorsports until his whole thing. So Ford would have to get in the middle of that and break up any deal that they had, set up between Zane and front row.
Yeah, but I think they could do that. They
of course they can do it, but they would have to do it.
Yeah, I'm saying I think they could do it, and I think they would do it easily.
You said something good though in the group chat, was that if Barry goes to the 4, put Zane in the 10.
In the 10, yeah.
Because Almirola could retire anytime.
Yeah, I would not. I wouldn't miss him not being there. But yeah, I mean that's what I think is going to happen. Obviously, Josh has had a lot of experience in the car now. He just finished top 10. I mean, he's doing pretty darn well. So I can't.
Josh is killing it for the very limited experience.
Who does JRM pick up to replace Josh if it happens?
I don't know. They could downsize.
Do they bring some of these people that have been in truck that needs to be able to get out? I mean,
you could put Ryan Truex in if you could find funding for him.
I think Ryan Truex would be a great hit for them, but
I feel like somebody had kind of like hinted
that might be happening.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one. You got legacy. You got 2 different legacies, 2 different names, 2 big names in one house.
Well, also, we know that Eric Jones was a Toyota driver to start with. So was Noah. So both these guys are coming back home. I would, it's funny because I feel like there's a lot of older fans that am I frozen?
No, you're good. I'm just like thinking of Jimmy and a Toyota, and it hurts.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's a possibility Jimmy could call it quits after this year. That he would maybe save from driving a Toyota. Don't be like Tony Stewart and had to drive a Toyota for 1 year.
I don't know, man. He did drive a Honda in Indy, but obviously Indy and NASCAR are completely different. Yeah. So I don't know.
But hey, leading about that though. So there's a lot of older fans out there that are manufacturer specific fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm only going to pull for Chase Elliott because he drives a Chevrolet. If Chase ever went to a Ford, I wouldn't pull for him. I know plenty of people that are like that. Yeah. Do you classify yourself as a fan that would pull for a certain driver because of their manufacturer. Or so Noah Gragson, he drives a
Yeah.
Chevy. Now he's drove a Chevy through his entire career that you've been a fan of him.
Yep.
When he makes the switch to Toyota, are you still going to be a Gragson fan?
I'm still going to be a Gragson fan. I'm one of those weird guys. I drive Fords. I've had Ford Mustangs. I got my Ford Lightning. My work car's a Ford. I mean, everything is Ford except for we now have a Toyota in the family. So I'm not afraid of Toyota.
As much shit as you talked about for Joseph having a Toyota at one point, now you have one.
That's a different.
I love Toyotas, dude.
I needed the SUV. He didn't need the blue ball machine. This is how we can test to see if he's still watching.
Oh shit, that's funny.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't have a problem there. It's just gonna be weird seeing Jimmy. That's my biggest catch on the whole thing. Noah's gonna do Noah things. I hope this helps Noah out. I hope this improves Noah and puts him in a whole nother tier now. I really hope
he's gonna get. He not only is he gonna have Jimmy as a mentor now and giving him coaching advice. He's now moving over to, I want to arguably say, the best driver development manufacturer there is in motorsports.
Oh, you're 100% right there. Toyota has done a phenomenal job with its drivers. I mean, obviously they've been stealing Chevy guys, so it's normal. Tyler Reddick moves over. Tyler Reddick's
Chevy's stolen some Toyota guys too. So
true. There has been both.
William Byron was a Toyota guy.
William Byron was a Toyota guy. So I mean, it's been out there before, obviously, and it's going to happen again. It is the way everything's set up now.
Yeah, nature of the beast.
Yep. But I am becoming less and less of a Chase fan between personality and other things that we've seen. I mean, we almost got ran over by him at Talladega and didn't say a thing. I mean, there's a lot. So
Charlotte.
Was it Charlotte?
Golf cart.
Yeah, on the golf cart.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just I don't care for who the manufacturer is unless they bring in like Volkswagen. Then I won't like that.
So the way I feel about Chase and everything is that, and the reason I'm not a huge Chase fan, I like Chase. I pull for Chase. I want to see him perform and do good. Just like Hendrick gets, a bad rap and everything. I'm a Hendrick fan. I like every driver for, Hendrick Motorsports. But the thing with Chase is that, he's the most popular driver. And growing up, I was a fan of the most popular driver, and that was Dale Jr. From 2001 to Dale's retirement, I was a fan of his. And it was very difficult to be a fan of his because of the stigma that was attached to him being the most popular driver. So when Junior went down with his injury in 2016, that's when I got on the Larson train. And I liked Larson. One reason I picked him was because he was for a lower tier team, and I wanted to pull for a guy that was relatively unknown. Now that he's become one of the biggest names in NASCAR now, I find myself at times the same way, that I want to find a guy to low-key pull for.
Yeah.
And that's why I would go back and say that, we all have our guy that we want to pull for, but we have more than one.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a fan of NASCAR. I pull for mostly all of them.
There's very few drivers that don't like Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's not a lot out there that I don't enjoy. So I feel like I'm always going to be that. I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah.
Honestly. But all right, so let's move over. You ready for the we're at 45 minutes almost? So who you got? We only have, we have no Xfinity this week.
Kansas.
Kansas. One of the tracks we're going to go to.
That we're going to go to. Okay, I see what you did there. I got two guys. It could go either way. Kyle Busch, because he's on the entry list. How can you not pick Kyle Busch? And Haley Deegan.
because you subscribe to her YouTube channel?
No, probably Zane. How can you not pick Kyle Busch or Zane Smith in a truck? Like, seriously.
I mean, it's definitely and when he's available, you got to pick him. There's no way you can't. You're right there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think who I want to pick. I'm looking up my fantasy right now. See if they have the odds going on. I want to say Ben Rhodes. I really feel like I want to say Ben Rhodes for Kansas.
Queer boy.
It's just because I think he races well. That's all it is. Jeez, kids these days. Let's see. Odds. Here we go. Of course. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with Ben Rhodes there. For Cup Series, I'm gonna go with Denny. I think this is finally where Denny's gonna get his win. If not him, I really think it's gonna be Tyler Reddick, one of the two.
Toyota's not bad to bet on for Kansas. We've seen Toyota run very well there.
Yeah.
Especially last year, Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace both won in the 45 car.
Yeah.
Ironically enough. So Toyota's not a bad pick. I would stay in the Toyota camp, and what I would probably say Bubba Wallace. I think he's going to get it done.
Will he finally be able to lift that hurdle for the year? Will he beat his boss? Find out more.
I think him and Booty Barker have a really good pairing now. They won last fall. They know how to do it. It could be a repeat of what we saw last year.
We'll see. Only time will tell. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's all I got, dude.
All right, man. Well, thank y'all for joining us. Make sure y'all hit that like and the subscribe. We really appreciate it. Just go on over there. Boom. I'm getting it down, son.
I'm figuring it out too.
We got it.
Don't forget about Kanga.
Yeah, don't forget about our Kanga sponsor down here. So Kanga coolers, they got a little cooler sitting back here. The Gibson, back in stock. Use FASCAR 10, gets you 10% off. They're awesome. You put the entire 12 back in. They got their backpacks that should be coming back in stock any week now. The backpacks can hold about 224 packs worth of beer, or so they say. Maybe it was the Cube 30. I don't remember. But you can also look at our link tree. It has the link to where you can go straight over, use the code, get your discount. Thank y'all for everything. And with that, until next time, see ya.